There's a story most people have only seen in fragments, a version filtered through statements, careful composure, and moments captured on camera. But behind that surface lies a deeper, more painful truth. Savannah Guthrie has faced a tragedy that the public can barely comprehend. Millions have admired her composure, called it strength, shared videos, and offered prayers for her missing mother. Yet the reality is layered. Physical danger, emotional turmoil, and lifelong conditioning collide in a way that makes the public image of courage only a partial truth. The life Savannah built. At 54, Savannah had achieved what most people spend decades striving toward. She had built a career of national recognition, mastered the pressures of a demanding role, and balanced the complexities of raising children with professional excellence. She had navigated turbulent institutional challenges without faltering, proving herself over and over in a world that often rewards performance above all else. By this stage of life, many expect a measure of peace and fulfillment, a sense that years of hard work and sacrifice are finally paying off. For Savannah, that milestone was abruptly shattered. February 1st, 2026. Everything changed on a Sunday morning when Nancy Guthrie, Savannah's 84-year-old mother, was taken from her home. The news of the kidnapping spread quickly, revealing the vulnerability of a woman millions of Americans had come to know only as someone deeply connected to a trusted public figure. From that moment, Savannah's life split into two tracks, a public track of composure and carefully measured words, and a private track of fear, uncertainty, and helplessness. Her world, built over decades, was suddenly fractured, and she had no control over when, or if, it could be repaired. The physical urgency. The first layer of this tragedy is the immediate physical danger. Nancy Guthrie requires daily heart medication to survive. Without it, every passing hour compounds the risk to her life. The kidnappers did not just take a woman. They took someone whose body cannot safely endure neglect. Savannah has lived with the knowledge of that danger every moment since the disappearance. Publicly, she appears composed and strong. Privately, she knows that her mother's life hangs in the balance, a reality most people cannot imagine, and a burden few could bear without breaking. The burden of performance. What makes this situation more tragic is the way Savannah has been prepared her entire life to handle unbearable pressure. She was raised to respond to fear and uncertainty with performance rather than vulnerability. Weakness, she learned, could not be shown. Strength was a requirement. This conditioning, absorbed over decades, allowed her to maintain composure even in the most extreme circumstances. Yet the very skills that enable her to function also deepen the personal cost. Every moment of control comes with exhaustion and emotional isolation, creating a private agony hidden behind public poise, the architecture of conditioning. Savannah's ability to perform is a testament to her upbringing, but also a source of pain. From childhood, she internalized a philosophy that equates love with invincibility. Vulnerability is a liability, emotions are to be managed privately, and strength is the currency of worth. These lessons shape the architecture of her personality. Even now, in a crisis of unimaginable magnitude, she cannot fully let her walls down. The person most capable of granting her permission to stop performing, the mother who instilled these lessons, is the very one missing, leaving her trapped in the tension between necessity and longing. The emotional layers. The public sees composure, the private sees fear, grief, and helplessness. Savannah's life has become a series of dualities, balancing public expectation with personal devastation. Each day, she faces the impossible choice of functioning for the outside world while privately navigating a maelstrom of worry for her mother's survival. The emotional layers of this tragedy are complex. Love, obligation, fear, and longing intermingle, creating a weight far heavier than any headline or news segment could convey. It is a pain felt in quiet moments, unseen by millions. The question that persists beneath all achievement and recognition lies a question that has shadowed Savannah since childhood. Am I enough? Not enough for colleagues, viewers, or the public, but enough for the one voice that shaped her understanding of love and worth, her mother. Professional success cannot answer it. Public admiration cannot satisfy it. And in this crisis, that question becomes even sharper. The person whose affirmation would provide relief is unreachable. The deepest longing of her life remains unmet, creating an invisible, ongoing tragedy that no camera lens can capture. The weight of love. Nancy's love for Savannah is undeniable, fierce, and lifelong. But love expressed primarily through expectation and the insistence on strength carries a subtle cost. It teaches a child that worth must be earned through performance, not inherent presence. That lesson, repeated over decades, creates a hunger for unconditional acceptance that achievement alone cannot fill. Now, in the face of crisis, Savannah carries the compounded weight of that unspoken need alongside the urgent fear for her mother's well-being. This makes the tragedy not only public, but deeply personal, layered, and enduring. The smallest words. Tom Brokaw once remarked on the greatest gift Nancy could give her daughter, should she return safely: simple, unambiguous words of love, words that require no performance, no composure, no measure of achievement. I love you, not as a reward, not as recognition, not contingent on success or strength, but simply because she is Savannah, always and inherently. Those 3 words carry the potential to release decades of built-up tension and longing. The tragedy is that, for now, those words remain absent, leaving Savannah to navigate the most extreme circumstances without the simplest reassurance she has ever sought. A tragedy beyond the headlines. The story is often reduced to a missing mother, an ongoing investigation, or a public figure holding herself together. But the real tragedy runs deeper. It is a woman whose life has been shaped by expectations and love, intertwined, now tested in the most extreme way. Savannah must manage the nation's gaze, a ticking clock on her mother's health, and the lifelong patterns of emotional conditioning that prevent her from fully resting. This is a quiet, profound sorrow that headlines cannot capture, a personal crisis interwoven with public attention. The hope of return. When Nancy comes home, the weight on Savannah can begin to lift, if only partially. The simple acknowledgement she has sought for decades could finally provide relief. You are enough. I have loved you always. These words could dissolve years of layered pressure, affirming that worth exists independently of performance. Until that moment, Savannah continues to bear the dual burdens of public responsibility and private fear. The longing for those words and the hope that they will come defines the deepest level of this ongoing tragedy, a yearning for unconditional recognition from the person who matters most. Conclusion. Enough Savannah Guthrie's story is one of layered tragedy, of composure and fear, of achievement and unfulfilled longing, and of love expressed through expectation. She stands as a symbol of strength to millions, yet her deepest need remains private and unmet. The resolution of this story depends not on headlines or public admiration, but on the return of the one person who can finally say, in words that require no proof or performance, "You are enough. You always have been." And in those words lies the quiet, profound healing that every human being deserves.